Good morning to all dear students, and you all are welcome in Ambuja Public School. Today I am here with the chapter number 16, the Mughals, the Mughal Empire. So we are going to read in this chapter how did the Mughal establish their empire in India. In topic number 1, children, we are going to read in detail about the very beautiful historical monument of India, which is the Taj Mahal. In the second point, we are going to read about the story behind the construction of the Taj Mahal. And the Taj Mahal was built about 400 years ago at Agra in Uttar Pradesh on the right bank of the river Yamuna. Then in topic number 2, we are going to read about the great Mughal Empire and their timeline. So the first Mughal Empire was Babur, followed by Humayun, then Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and the last main Mughal Empire was Aurangzeb. So in all, total 6 early main Mughal emperors were there. Then lastly, in the concluding point of the chapter, we are going to read about the historical buildings, forts, palaces, mausoleums, tombs which were built by the Mughal emperors. Amongst them, the most famous were the Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, Jama Masjid, Buland Darwaza, Humayun's tomb, and many more others were there. So let us move ahead to the chapter number 16, children. This picture shows one of the most famous monuments, historical buildings of the world. What is it? It is the Taj Mahal at Agra in Uttar Pradesh. The Taj Mahal was built by a great emperor called Shah Jahan in the memory of his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal. And it is visited by thousands of people from all over the world every year. Emperor Shah Jahan loved his queen Mumtaz Mahal dearly. So when she died, he decided to build a grand tomb for her. And this tomb, the Taj Mahal, was to be a symbol of his love for his queen. The Taj Mahal is regarded by many people as the best example of Mughal architecture. What is architecture? The art of designing the building. So it is the best example of Mughal architecture and a symbol of India's rich history. The Taj Mahal attracts 7 to 8 million visitors every year. And the year 2007 was the most remarkable and historic moment for the Taj Mahal, because in this year only, that is 7/7/2007, that is in the year 2007, it was declared as a winner of the new 7 wonders of the world. So we can say that Taj Mahal is a pride of India. The Taj Mahal was built about 400 years ago on the right bank of river Yamuna, and it had taken thousands of workers, around 20,000 of workers, and they have completed this construction of Taj Mahal in the 20 years. And it is also said that 5 years more were taken to complete the outside structure of the Taj Mahal and also the gardens around it. So many semi-precious stones and precious stones were used in the construction of Taj Mahal. And the people and the materials including the marble, the white marble, the red sandstone, and the precious stones and the semi-precious stones, and the people and the workers, artisans, they all were called and brought from India and from outside the India, from different parts of the world. Different types of semi-precious stones were used, like coral, Firoza, Petunia, and the very rare stones were also brought from from different countries, from far away areas. That means from Russia also, from China also, from Tibet, and from the Nile Valley, and from the eastern part of India, that is from Burma, that is today's Myanmar. Okay, yellow amber was called from there, from Afghanistan, from Sri Lanka, orange, red color stones, grass, green color stones, deep blue, orange colored, all different types of precious and precious stones were brought from the different countries of the world to build this beautiful monument. And now children, let me show you what type of beautiful designs do we have in the interior part of the Taj Mahal, and also we'll see the verses from Quran, the holy book of Islam, in beautiful Arabic letters in calligraphy are carved on these walls. So when Shah Jahan died, he was also buried beside his wife in the Taj Mahal. The wonder in the white marble. The beautiful site of Taj Mahal, which is built on the right bank of the river Yamuna. The Taj Mahal looks pretty good in the moonlight. It is built in such a way so that it changes its colors thrice in a day. Built by the greatest Shah Jahan in the memory of Mumtaz Mahal. These are the different structural parts of the Taj Mahal, and the dome. You can see the semicircular part. Okay, the dome is a special feature of the Indo-Islamic architectural style. And then you can see the huge towers known as minarets. So the minarets of different sizes also you can see here. Pride of India, the Taj Mahal. Now let us see the beautiful designs made up of precious and the semi-precious stones. So these precious stones are cut. Okay, they are cut in different designs. They are cut in the designs of the petals, flowers, floral designs, and then they are carved very beautifully in the interiors of the Taj Mahal. And this beautiful design is known as Petra Dura. Okay, it is Petra Dura. You can see this glazed precious stones. And now we are going to read about the timeline of the Mughals. So the Mughals, the first Mughal empire was Babur. And Babur has come from Central Asia, that is from Fargana. Fargana Valley is there. Okay, this is the timeline of Mughals. The Mughal empire was established by Babur. He was the first Mughal emperor. And the Mughal dynasty or the Mughal empire was established by Babur, followed by Humayun, then Akbar, then Jahangir, then Shah Jahan, then Aurangzeb. And on the top, the centuries are also mentioned. So Babur, he came to India in the year 1526. In the 15th century, in 1526, a very fierce battle was fought between Babur and one more ruler. That time he was ruling in India, in Delhi. His name was Ibrahim Lodi. So the very fierce battle was fought between Ibrahim Lodi and Babur in the year 1526 at Panipat in Haryana. In this battle, Babur had become victorious. He had won the battle, and then he had established Mughal Empire in India. This is the birthplace of Babur. He had come from Fargana Valley, and this Fargana Valley is nearby Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan. So he was born in the Fargana Valley, and he was Uzbek tribe. In Uzbekistan, Uzbek tribes were there, those who were, we can say, the competitors or the enemies of Babur. And then Babur, he was removed from the Fargana Valley, and Babur, he roamed for so many years. And then in the year 1504, he had captured Kabul, which is in Afghanistan. So from Fargana Valley, he had moved to Afghanistan, and from Afghanistan, when he saw that in New Delhi, Ibrahim Lodi is quite a weak ruler, so he wanted to come to India to rule India, because he had wandered for so many years. So he wanted to establish his rule in somewhere, in some part of the world where he can get the suitable conditions and the favorable conditions, and as well as the peace and the security also. So that is why he came to India to establish his empire. So Babur was the first Mughal emperor. He had come to India from Central Asia and he had conquered lands over here. So this is how Babur marked the beginning of the Mughal Empire. Then after Babur we have Humayun, and Humayun's son was Akbar. Okay, so we can say that the Babur's grandson was Akbar, who was the greatest Mughal ruler because of his so many qualities. He was a great warrior. He had conquered many lands. He had conquered, captured many lands. He had expanded his kingdom. Okay, but he fought only with those rulers, those who did not peacefully accepted him as his ruler. Now the Mughals were Muslims, but most of the people of their kingdom were not Muslims. So Akbar, he was a very great ruler. He was having very good religious policies and he adopted the policy of mutual understanding. Okay, he believed in all the faiths, in all the religions, and he believed in the equality of all the religions. So he allowed his people to follow their own religion and he treated people of all religions equally. This is known as religious tolerance. So he was a great religious tolerant. He tried to maintain peace amongst all the major religions and he also followed some of the new religious policies. He was a secular emperor, means he believed in the liberty, freedom of all the religions. He did not force anyone to convert or to change their religion. And Akbar also participated in so many Hindu festivals, their traditions, and he had showed in the teachings of other religions also. Akbar could not read or write, okay, like his father. But like his father, he was a great lover of learning. He helped in the growth of painting, crafts, music, architecture, means the art of making the building, the art of designing the building. And that is why he had 9 talented men in his court from different fields. And those 9 talented, intelligent people were called the Navratan, that is 9 gems in Akbar's court. And one of them was Raja Birbal. He was very intelligent, very wise, and he today also we love to read the stories of Akbar and Birbal. And Birbal was very famous and well known for his witty and humorous nature, and he used to solve all the tasks and the problems in a very tactful way. And then another one of the famous musician Tansen was there. He was having a deep knowledge for classical music. So these were the 9 gems of the Akbar's court. Here we are having the list here. Abdul Rahim, he was a great Hindi scholar. Abul Fazl was a chief advisor. Birbal, he was very well famous for his wittiness, humorous nature. Tansen was a great classical singer. Todermal was a finance minister and he had designed so many policies for collecting the taxes from the people. Mulla Do Pyaza, he was an advisor. Raja Man Singh was a military commander and general, Senapati. Faizi was a poet and Hamim Hamam was a physician, a doctor. Then after Akbar, his son was Jahangir. Then after Jahangir, Shahjahan became the king after Jahangir. And Shahjahan was a great lover of learning and art, especially painting and architectural buildings. And just like his father, Shahjahan was also very fond of beautiful things. Some of the beautiful buildings built by the Shahjahan during his rule were the Red Fort in Delhi. And everywhere in the Red Fort, our Prime Minister, he hoists the flag on 15th August. This is the Red Fort. So during the ruling period of Shah Jahan, Mughal architecture was at its peak because he was having a deep interest in the Mughal architectural buildings. So lot many monuments were built by Shah Jahan, which include the Red Fort, the Jama Masjid also in Delhi, Jama Masjid, Here the people, they offer namaz on every Friday and on Eid also. Then beautiful peacock throne was also the main attraction in the court of Shah Jahan. It is the golden throne and it is set decorated with the hundreds of precious stones and gold. That is why it is also known as the golden throne, the golden peacock throne. You can see here the golden peacock throne. And now the last and the most powerful Mughal emperor was Aurangzeb. He was Shah Jahan's son. Shah Jahan's son Aurangzeb was the last Mughal ruler and he was also a great warrior. And during his rule, the Mughal empire was at its largest. But Aurangzeb's policies were not liked by the people, his public, because he was not broad-minded and he was not liberal and he did not give much freedom to his people in terms of religion, in terms of tradition. But the most important feature of Aurangzeb's reigning period was that during his reigning period, the expansion of the territories were at the largest. Aurangzeb had occupied the territory from Afghanistan, you can say from Afghanistan, Kabul, Kandahar, okay, that is from northwest boundary was under the rule of Aurangzeb, Kabul, Kandahar, Afghanistan, till the eastern part, Myanmar. Okay, today's Bangladesh and today's Myanmar, a little part of eastern part of Myanmar, Chittagong, and also the southern part of India. So almost all the part of India was under the rule of Aurangzeb, and that is why India was not only known as India but it was known as Indian subcontinent. Some beautiful paintings were also built. Beautiful paintings were made during the reign of the Mughal empires. Mughal architecture. The Mughals brought large parts of India under their rule and India had prospered, developed under them for a longer time. The books, paintings and the buildings from their time are the things of pride for our country. And the Buland Darwaza was also a gate built by Akbar to celebrate his victory over Gujarat. So with this, children, we have come to the concluding part of the chapter. So in this chapter, what we have read about the story of the Taj Mahal. We have read about the great Mughals and their timeline. And also we have read about the policies of Akbar and some of the beautiful buildings constructed by Shah Jahan. And Aurangzeb's expansion was the largest one during his reigning period till 1707. So I hope, children, the concept is clear to you. You have understood the chapter, enjoyed the chapter also. So see you again in the next chapter. Till then, have a good day. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much, children.